I'm honored to interview my colleague and co-founder, Michael Staw, our Chief Innovation Officer, who has been lying in wait to announce how Old Glory Bank will be the first bank to meld crypto into banking and remove the friction, reduce gas, and allow customers to easily send remittances around the world. We're going to fly over the top of the Federal Reserve. Believe me, you want to watch this episode of PSL.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. This is Mike Ring here. We heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank.
Does Old Glory Bank have a mission statement? Yes, it's called the Constitution.
The difference is you won't be canceled for who you are, and what you believe.
People need to have an institution that they can trust in.
Well, I like to say that I'm standing between the regulators and America, and I'm the only bank executive who is not intimidated by the regulators.
DEI, there's PSL, Privacy, Security, Liberty.
That's it.
Privacy, security, liberty.
Today's episode of Privacy, Security, and Liberty is about all three, privacy, security, and liberty. As folks know, we started Old Glory Bank to be the market response to debanking and government overreach. And now we complete the mission of PSL by melding crypto into banking. Why should the Federal Reserve control the payment rails for wires and checks? Do you trust the Federal Reserve? Do you want the kingpin of the bank cartel in your legal business? Of course not. This is about customers wanting the privacy, the security, and the liberty to do transactions. Well, the only way to prevent the Federal Reserve from being in your legal business is to fly over the top and use a digital currency for payments and remittances, especially stablecoins. Until today, that's been too hard, too expensive, and too confusing unless you're a crypto bro, which if you are, that's great, but I'm not. Fortunately, my next guest is. Old Glory Bank has solved these challenges, and the man behind this brilliant solution is the most innovative man in banking, and I'm holding that true. The most innovative man in banking is Michael Staw, professionally known as Shock and Staw. Michael Staw, I'm so honored to interview you, my colleague, my friend of 30 years, my co-founder, my partner. Welcome to PSL.
Thanks, Ringer. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad you let me out of the basement to show some of the stuff we've been working on.
Don't get used to this feeling, because Michael Staw, as you'll hear, is always in the basement doing the stuff. He's the nerd of the team. He's a really smart guy, but I always like to say he could not get into my great alma mater, University of Akron. He had to go to some barely accredited school, Princeton. But to his credit, back when he went to Princeton, it was a real school. It wasn't woke like it is today. So we're going to get right into this. And I'm going to tell folks about a little bit about why you're here today and what we really brought to meld crypto into banking. And I don't think anyone's ever done that. So as our Chief Innovation Officer, Michael, you are really one of the forces behind so many of our great products, including Old Glory Cash In, which is one of the ones I'm so proud of that you and the team did, where our customers, middle America customers who deal in a little bit of cash, can walk into one of 88,000 locations and deposit cash. I always make fun of Chase Bank. Has 5,000 places you can walk in and deposit cash. Old Glory Bank has 88,000. So as a reminder, if you're new to PSL and new to Old Glory Bank, we've successfully built the premier 50-state digital-first bank for our customers, retail, meaning our consumers plus business who love America, God, and family, who put others ahead of themselves. We stood up a bank to push back against government overreach, and we refuse to debank people who disagree with us. That's what's so beautiful about Old Glory Bank. We are the market solution. And so because of the hard work of Michael and other folks at this team, where we put our customers ahead of ourselves, we have had a little success. And since April of 2023, to remind folks, a little more than 2 years ago, we have grown from 10 million deposits to over 225 million in deposits. I humbly believe the fastest growing grassroots bank in history. We do the hard work of banking 24/7, and we process millions of customer engagements annually. And that hard work will never change. But thanks to the passage of the Genius Act, it's now time to demo for you. This will be the first time people are seeing it. Our solution for melding crypto into banking by removing friction, reducing gas, and creating an easy solution to send remittances worldwide. And now we're going to turn it over to Shock and Staw. So Michael, remind folks what we do today at Old Glory Bank to service the crypto industry. We actually have been providing demand deposit account services to several crypto companies, and tell the Tell the folks what we do today.
As you said, Old Glory Bank already provides crypto services to many, many companies, but we also have thousands and thousands of customers who use us for their onboarding and offboarding of crypto all the time. And we tried to make that real easy by incorporating onboarding and offboarding services directly into Old Glory Pay. So with a
that's
partnership,
a lot of fancy words, Michael, but for the normal people like me, that means getting US dollars or fiat into companies that do crypto. Is that what onboarding, offboarding means?
Exactly. Getting your money onto the blockchain is one of the most frustrating things that people do on the blockchain. In order to get your money on board, you have to go through one of the crypto purchasing services, which often means going through an app, going through an exchange, going through your bank account, maybe through a credit card, and it's difficult. It takes time. Sometimes you don't get credit for your money right away. You have to pay credit card fees, and it's just a pain. And we thought we could make this a lot easier.
So today we use our great closed loop proprietary Old Glory Pay, which is our version of PayPal, peer-to-peer or peer-to-merchant. But one of those merchants who use it today and every day are several coin companies who do stable coins and some other products. And so we basically are the on-ramp, off-ramp for crypto today. And that alone is a nice little business that we have, and we thank all of our customers for using it. But we weren't going to stop there. That's just the beginning. Now it's time to really talk about what we're going to do, the next generation of crypto and melding it with banking and Old Glory Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, the world, is seeing our next version of Old Glory Bank's front end. This is the version you will see, smaller on your app. Will be the computer size when we do our next big update of our front end, the user interface that you interact with at Old Glory Bank. And everything you see here is live and it's real. The front end is real. The connections to the blockchain, moving money back and forth that you'll see, Michael will demonstrate, it's actually real and it's actually happening. The only thing that's not real, so folks, in full disclosure, is that we have not yet hooked this up to our core, because as we're doing testing and building, we don't want to have any potential security breaches. So Michael's team, actually had to create a core and a sandbox, and that's the guts of the bank that keeps track of the dollar and cents. But this user interface is what you will actually see. And we think as early as January, some things come together for us. So Michael, why are we just now seeing this beautiful front end?
The Genius Act. This is stuff that we've been working on for a long time, but we didn't feel comfortable showing it until the regulations were clear.
Great. Now let me just give everyone one background on the Genius Act. That's the new law that thankfully the Senate and the House and the President signed as of July 18th. Now, quite frankly, most of the things we're going to show you today we could do without the effectiveness of the Genius Act. But what the Genius Act has done is given us the certainty that 2, 3, 4 years from now, the law won't be what we think it will be. So this has validated our vision, and we didn't want to get in front of ourselves and show people where we think it's going and then have the rug pulled out from back of us. So Michael and his team are working, we call it Skunk Works project. We're keeping them down in the basement, working on this, and now we're so proud to show it. Since July 18th, we've now shown this a couple times to inside people, but it's the first time the public is seeing it. And Michael, I know you're going to get in this, so as you use fancy words, if I interrupt you, don't get offended, but I got to dumb it down to my level. And so you go for it, and if I interrupt you, that's why.
Well, thanks. And also thanks for giving me the opportunity to show this to the public. Working
thanks
in the
for
back
building
rooms, innovation doesn't often get to show things ahead of time, so it's a real treat to be able to show what we work on. So much of the stuff that we do is under the surface, but it's really nice to be able to show this out in public. So I want to show you now the integration of banking and crypto. So when you look at banking in the new world, of course you can see all of your accounts, your checking accounts, your savings accounts, but in a crypto-aware app, we also have fun features like crypto prices, where you can see the current prices of crypto assets. And it's across multiple blockchains. It's not just ETH, it's not just Bitcoin, it's across multiple blockchains, and you can add your own assets to these views as you like. But one of the pain points that we talked about briefly before was, how do you get money on and off the blockchain? It's really difficult. You've got to buy and all the things that we talked about before. But we thought, if we're reimagining the way banks work with crypto, why don't we try and make this dead simple? And that's what we did. But first I need to talk about one thing, and that's stablecoins. Stablecoins are crypto assets that are backed 1-for-1 to the US dollar. They maintain their price no matter what. If crypto rises, crypto falls, it doesn't make any difference. The stablecoins, and in particular the OGB stablecoin, maintains its price at $1. You can buy them for $1 from us, and you can sell them to us for $1. Always constant.
And this is a really important component for using stable coins in your normal commerce. Everyone loves Bitcoin, but it fluctuates so much. For example, do you really want to buy a car or a house? It could change by the time you close, and you really don't know what the price costs. And so people really have moved to stable coins. And what the Genius Act has done is clarify what we have long believed. Everyone should not be allowed to do a stable coin. So if you're going to believe in crypto and stable coins, you better believe in the bank you're doing business with, because that is who's going to hold it for you and make sure it's really backed one-to-one.
Let me emphasize that point one more time. The OGB USD token is backed one for one by real world dollars. And for every token that you create or we create for you, it's backed by a real dollar in a real account, and you can exchange it one for one at any time. And that maintains its peg, $1 equals one token. So let me show you how easy it is to get money onto the blockchain, because that's such a pain point. In our vision of blockchain banking, all you do is you buy. Select the account you want to buy from, enter an amount, and now it goes out to the blockchain. It mints those tokens, it takes the money from your checking account, it delivers that money to our backing account to back those tokens one for one, and then it drops those tokens into your blockchain wallet. And as soon as the blockchain updates, you'll see these tokens appear in my wallet. Here it is, 4,500 OGB tokens.
So,
and
are you telling me this is real? So you literally just minted some of our great stable coins. And how do I know it's not smoke and mirrors? Is there some master list of stable coins on the blockchain?
Well, sure. The coins are on the blockchain, but if I want to go to my self-custodial wallet and verify it, all I have to do is look at my tokens, and I can see my token balance here on the real blockchain, real tokens that matches the amount that's shown in OGB.
Amazing.
So there's no smoke and mirrors, real transactions going on. So now you ask yourself, well, now that I can get tokens on the wallet, on the blockchain, what do I do with them? And if I want to move things off of the blockchain, how do I do that? And there are a lot of people who have this problem. You have tokens, like you've collected some Ethereum, and you want to trade it back out for fiat. Well, right now it's too hard. In the current system, you have to go to an exchange, you have to link your wallet, you have to exchange it for US dollars, then you have to link your bank account, transfer it out, and a lot of things can go wrong along the way. Well, again, in our rethinking of the way banking and crypto work together, why don't we just make that process easier? Instead, we've introduced the concept of the magic address. And all you have to do is, to get money off of the blockchain and into your checking account, is take this address and send your tokens there, and I'll show you. So now I'm going to go to tokens. I'm going to take some Ethereum, and I'm going to send 1 ETH to the OGB magic address. And after the blockchain updates, you'll see my Freedom checking account reflect the new balance in my account. And what we do behind the scenes is we have a process that's watching the blockchain 24/7. When it spots a transaction that arrives at our address, we decode that to understand who the sender was, how that sender is linked to OGB, what currency they're sending in, and then we go out to the market, we look for the best fill price, and we exchange it for fiat. We take that fiat and put it into your checking account that you can see over here, and my checking account balance was updated with a cell. And you'll note one thing, I didn't have to do anything involving traditional blockchain operations. I didn't have to go to an exchange, I didn't have to link my bank account. Everything happens automatically and easy. Our goal is to make blockchain operations as easy as traditional banking.
So Michael, let me dumb this down for people like me. I'm 60 years old, not a crypto pro, but I want to do this and can't wait till we launch this. So let's go. Are you telling me that you just took some ETH, real ETH out of your wallet, and just did some magic, and now it's fiat in your account that you can spend on your debit card, and that was like 12 seconds?
That's right. And you can spend it on your debit card, you can go to the ATM, it's real money, and it's really there.
And how did you just do that? Like, why has no one else done this?
I don't know why anybody else has done it, but I'll tell you how we're doing it. We are watching that magic address. We are performing the transactions in real time. We go out to the exchange to find you the best exchange price, and we just handle all the details behind the surface.
And are we going to charge customers that? Don't answer that. We're still working through this, but here's what I will commit. This will be less expensive than any other solution out there, I believe, I promise. It will probably be like an ATM transaction fee. It will be lower than that. And so we are going to make this seamless. And we don't nickel and dime our customers. This is just another service that we're going to provide to you. And as Michael says, I don't know why their banks aren't doing this yet, but that's okay. We're going to lead this charge. So that's cool. So I took ETH, got into fiat, but let's say I want to now get that Old Glory coins. I got to send some money to my mom for her birthday. How would you do that?
Easy. Come back here, buy more coin, on-ramp some money from that. I'll take now $2,000 from that account, buy OGB coin. And in a few moments, you can see my balance is already updated. And there we go.
Phenomenal.
My money's back on the blockchain.
That's amazing, Michael. Just hats off to you and your team. But if we can now spend a minute with what do you do with that coin? How do I send it to my mother? Mm-hmm. And hopefully I wasn't getting in front of my skis when I said that.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. All you have to do is use your self-custodial wallet to find the token. Here's our OGB USD token, and send it off to anybody you like. And as soon as you send it, it'll be reflected accurately and quickly right into our integrated banking app. So it's easy to send. And the beauty of it is that you can send money anytime you want. You can send money instantly with no fees and with no limits. If you want to send money off hours, you don't have to worry about can you reach somebody. You don't have to worry about what is it going to cost me and when is the money going to get there. It's all documented on the blockchain, easy to send. And if you want to send money out to foreign countries, to a relative in a foreign country, easy, much easier and much faster than remittances. And more importantly, it's cheap. And when your relative receives the money, it's very easy for them to convert it back into the local fiat. So it's simple to do cross-border remittances.
Well, let me challenge you on that for a moment. Let's say I got to send $10 million. I'm a business. I've got to send $10 million to my supplier in Italy. I can send my supplier in Italy, who does not have a bank account with Old Glory Bank, $10 million of US Glory coin. How would I do that?
Well, you would go to your wallet and you enter their address. So first, you need to get their address. You enter their address into your send. So let's say I'm working with Old Glory Coin. I would get their address and enter it here. Send how much I want to remit, and press send. That's all there is to it. And the beauty of it is that they don't have to wait for a wire transfer to arrive. They don't have to check on the status of an ACH. They can go to the blockchain right now and watch that transaction and give you confirmation. And the problem is if you're sending a lot of money to a foreign country, it's hard to track. It's hard to know where it is. People get frustrated. And on the blockchain, it happens now, and it's verifiable.
But what does that supplier in Italy do with 10 million of US Glory coin? Glory coin.
Our stablecoin is compatible with all exchanges that support ERC20, which is the standard for all stablecoins and for all most coins in general. And because it's a stablecoin and because we have contracts out on the blockchain to allow transfers, those exchanges will transfer one-to-one back into fiat or back into any other stablecoin. So there's universal acceptance among the exchanges for our coin. Very easy to transmit it. Now, of course, that supplier in Italy might choose to hang on to the coin and use it for its own purposes or facilitate transactions itself. It's very easy, and because we're backed one-to-one with real money in our real bank, there's no risk of price fluctuation. And
so that Italian supplier could convert it to a local coin, go to their bank and spend it to pay their employees or buy their parts. They're not, no one is stuck keeping a stable coin. What's great about a stable coin on you call it the ERC20?
Yes.
When it's on that, you can exchange it for many stable coin, and that's what makes it a universal monetary solution. And that's why people love stable coins. So that's...
And it's only partially automatic. We have to supply a liquidity pool, which we do, to make those distributed exchanges aware of our coin so they can easily do those swaps. But we do that and make it all happen behind the scenes.
Perfect. So what else can we do with all this fancy stuff?
Well, you got to think that if we have a stable coin and we think a stable coin is great, then there've got to be other people who think that a stable coin is great too. So what if you had a private currency that you wanted to run? What if you're a college or you're a bookstore or you're a clothing manufacturer and you want to run a loyalty program? You want to have a private currency for redemptions or for gift cards or anything that requires you to hold money for other people. It used to be easy. You create a stable coin, but now with the Genius Act, it's a little bit harder. but it's much, much safer because you can rely on the banks who are regulated to hold the backing coin for those stable coins. So we thought, if we can run a stable coin for ourselves, why not leverage that infrastructure to run stable coins for other people? And that's what we've done. So I'm logged in as a commercial account, and in a commercial account, a company can create a private stable coin. And to create a private stable coin, all you do is you click the button, and then you give it a symbol. Who do you want to use for a stable coin?
So we're calling this Old Glory Bank. We're calling it Stablecoin as a Service, STAS. We think it's going to be a big business for Old Glory Bank, STAS. But I think let's do American Eagle is all over the news. Let's do the American Eagle coin.
American Eagle coin. That's the AEUSD coin.
I'm sure American Eagle is going to bank with Old Glory Bank and do our coin. If not, if you're listening, open up an account today.
Okay, so now the contracts are being created on the blockchain. The coin is being created. It's being seeded with its initial amounts. And as you can see over here, the AEUSD is now in my account. Now, of course, there's no balance because the company who backed this coin has not committed any capital to the coin yet. But let's say they want to create some coin for trading. All you have to do is mint it. And of course, because it's backed one-to-one, you can't just create coins out of thin air. It has to be backed with something. So remember that I have money in the checking account. And in this scenario, I'm logged in as say, American Eagle. I'll create 10,000 coins. And now again, that's going to the blockchain, is creating those coins, and that balance will come from my checking account. So now you can see already that my checking account has been decremented. And now the tokens have been minted. And in a moment, we'll see now they are in my account. Now, to show you that it's real, let's add them to my my wallet. Now you can see it picks up, MetaMask picks up the token ID and the balance directly from the blockchain. And now it's added to my wallet. And we can see that the AEUSD, I have 10,000 units of.
Beautiful.
And of course, if I'm AEUSD, I can send them out to anybody I want. I'll send them out to, send out 1,000 units to a different wallet. And now what you see in a moment when it's reflected on the blockchain is that my balance has decreased, but the total supply remains. And of course, the total amount that OGB retains in its backing accounts to support those coins still remains at 10,000, the current supply.
So one of the things I always like to impress upon folks is just because we as Americans don't want the Federal Reserve, don't want NACHA, don't want all of these payment rails to oversee what we're doing doesn't mean that we support criminals. In fact, we are a law and order bank. The answer is we have to do our job and stop bad actors. So how are we going to ensure that a bad actor doesn't mint Old Glory coins and send them to Iran or North Korea?
It's a great question. It's not the fun part of banking. It's not the fun part of the demo. But what I can tell you is that every action that crosses the in-bank to out-of-bank boundary, that is when money comes in and goes out, especially as it relates to the magic address, because that's when we can receive coin that we've never seen before, goes through a process of AML KYC checks. And before we move that money into the bank, it has to pass that check. So those checks range from working with a variety of partners that we have to make sure that wallets are clean, that they haven't been involved in money laundering, that they don't come from countries that are that we're not permitted to deal with. So we have a very rigorous process at the boundary line between in-bank and out-of-bank activities to make sure that everything is handled properly. Compliance is one of our chief goals here.
If you're going to have stable coins, if you're going to meld your dollars, your fiat with your digital wallet, you've got to be at a bank that you trust. Because if you don't trust the bank, then you might as well just be back on the federal rails and deal with wires and checks. Bank with the bank who's going to push back against government overreach. Enough of the boring AML, BSA stuff. Let's go back to the fun stuff. Okay, now I want to think through this. I can move crypto to fiat back. I can send money. This is going to be a great solution for remittances. You could literally send millions and millions of dollars of U.S. Glory coin. And we've talked about how remittances work, flies over the top of the Federal Reserve and all those other type of payment rails. Are there some fun stuff still that you haven't shown that you're holding back? Like, let's say I've got a bunch of crypto and I want to make, borrow some money against it.
Well, yeah, I'll show you that. Let me interject one other thing since we talked about AML. This is our internal tracker for where the coins are, and you can see where the total supply is and how much it's held within and without. And when I discussed coins crossing the border, you can see when coins are held by our customers and when they're held outside. And this is when that transition is made. That's how we do the checking. So I just thought I'd give you a
Yeah,
quick
let me just for you technocrats out there. So as we talk about, there is a non-bank subsidiary under the Genius Act that will maintain the backing account, which is the dollar for dollar. So for every coin out there, we've got to maintain a dollar of real cash. And this is what I love about stable coins. I hate the concept of fractional banking, which is why Old Glory Bank has never levered up like most banks have. If everyone withdraws their money, there's no money there. And that's one of the things that conservatives hate about fractional banking. Well, stablecoin removes that. There is no fractional concept in stablecoins. You've got to actually have a dollar, a fiat, real dollar backing every coin. And this is what I love about this. So if you want to if we're going to mint a dollar of stablecoin OGB USD, it's got to put a dollar in our backing account, which will be in a non-bank sub. And there's only two things we can do with that. Hold it in overnights with the Federal Reserve, Fed funds, or 90 days or less Treasury. So it's always real. And this is where I think America and the world really wants is to push back against fractional banking and have dollar for dollar backing this currency. And this is how we track it. So this is basically our non-bank sub.
All right, so let me give you some other fun things you could do. If you've got crypto, you might want to use it, but not sell it. And I know that sounds kind of odd, but a lot of people have developed portfolios of a lot of crypto, and they may believe in the growth, but still want to use the underlying capital. And the best way to do that is to borrow against it. Now, if you borrow against your crypto, we can make that totally easy. And we've set up a system whereby you can pledge your crypto against a loan. And the way we do that is we use this collateral manager. But let's say we have an applicant who wants to borrow against his crypto. So let's take...
And this would be our screen as the bank. This is not what the customer sees,
right,
correct?
This is all internal. So you enter the borrower ID. Let's say I want to borrow $100,000. And underwriting has decided that I qualify for a 50% LTV. And once we do that, in the collateral manager, we can request collateral. And once that collateral is requested, a menu appears in your crypto assets portfolio, allowing you to pledge that collateral. And then once it's pledged, the beauty of it is that although we have to take it as collateral into an escrow account, because we're in control of that escrow account, because we're in control of the banking interface, because we understand about your wallet and its connections, we can still show your assets even though they've been pledged as collateral, even though they've left your user custodial wallet. We can still show it with your assets. And I think it's kind of frustrating if you don't, because if you pledge some collateral, especially crypto, and you look at it in your user custodial wallet, you'll see it leave. And I think it's just kind of odd that I should have crypto but not be able to see it integrated with my finances. And if you've got crypto integrated with the bank, I think you should see it there, whether you've pledged it, whether it's yours natively, or whether it has any restrictions on it.
So that's a really good point. So as the customer, what I'd see is I'd request a loan, you'd get underwritten, we would put in the right LTV, and then you'd get this request, it'd pop up, you'd pledge it, you'd still see it, even though I guess there'd be like an icon that is pledged. And next thing you know, the cash would be in fiat in your debit account, your demand deposit account, and you can do with it what you want.
Right. And the beauty of it is you can repay your loan anytime you want. You can see how much interest is accrued. So you'll always have a payoff amount.
All right. Well, you've given us quite a good demo here today, Michael. So honored to be your partner, your colleague, what you and the team have done to be able to look at the screen again, folks, to be able to meld crypto with banking, move it back and forth, stable coins, third-party stable coins, send stable coin to anyone. Can you imagine, Michael, if Carnival Cruise Line did their own private stable coin and paid all of their employees, all of their vendors with the Carnival Cruise stablecoin, and that removes any international conversion issues. We're really bullish on stablecoin as a service. I know Hillsdale, our friends of them, are going to want to do one. We know the NRA is going to want to do one. We hope the SEC does one, and we hope all these great companies do a stablecoin with us. But with all this great stuff I'm seeing, let me just throw something out there. I'm kind of a simple guy. I just want to carry around one debit card on my phone. And I don't know if on any given day that I want to pick what I'm doing, move money back and forth. Can't I have just one card, that's all type of solution, Michael? Please tell me you have something lined up for this.
Well, I didn't know we were going to go here yet, but with Old Glory Select, it is the first card that's going to let you choose how you want to pay for your charge. You use your debit card at the register, you swipe it as normal, but in your app, we're going to put a button that says spend from my crypto account or spend from my checking account. And in the future, imagine spending from a credit line. So you get the features of a crypto card, a debit card, and a credit card from one piece of plastic. One card does it all.
Oh, I love that. So I don't have to even think about it. And I could probably do this after the fact. So at night, after my day of spending, I could say, take it from my crypto,
Yes.
take it from
Oh,
my
shoot,
line.
I wish I spent this from my crypto. You just mark the transaction and we'll do the credits post-transaction.
So is there anything your brilliant mind and your team have not thought of yet? Or is this the entire world that people want, you think? Or is there more to come maybe?
There's definitely more to come. There's a lot of stuff in how to use coins and how we're going to take care of them, how we're going to take custody of them, corporate services. There's a lot of stuff coming, but this is all that we can show right now. There's much more I'm eager to show you later.
Thank you. And so sleep is for the week, correct?
For the week.
I love it. Thank you. Well, folks, that's all I've got for today. Thank you, Shock and Staw. Just an honor to be your friend, your partner, and watch what you and the team do. Folks, thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and follow. If you don't like it, please let us know why. Tell Michael Staw, don't tell me. You can find him. Michael, are you comfortable giving out your private email or not yet? Just joking. You need to get to Michael. If you have any ideas, send it to me. I do give out my private email. It's mikering@oldglorybank.com. If you have something from Michael, you send it to me and I'll send it to him. He's going back to the basement. This is the first time we've let him out since 2023. Folks, if you're not a customer, why are you not banking with Old Glory Bank? It literally takes 8 minutes to open an account. If you're a business, we can do it in a couple hours, not a couple weeks like your typical business account. And if you like what we're doing at Old Glory Bank and you like where we're going with Old Glory Bank, please consider becoming an owner by going to own.oldglorybank.com. You can buy our stock, accredited, unaccredited, and you can invest in Old Glory Bank and be an owner of the bank you bank with. God bless and PSL forever.